Have you ever looked around your home and thought, I want to clean that, but my body says not today? Maybe your knees ache, or standing too long makes your back tighten. Maybe you just feel tired, physically and in the soul. I've been there. Last winter, I sat on my couch staring at a dusty bookshelf for 2 weeks. Every day I said, tomorrow. But tomorrow kept getting farther away. Until one morning I grabbed a clean sock, sprayed a little vinegar on it, and wiped every shelf while sitting down. And that's when I realized cleaning doesn't always need effort. It needs kindness, creativity, and sometimes just a soft chair and a good reach. There's a quiet frustration many of us feel as we age. Not because we're lazy, but because we remember when we could. And we don't know how to ask for new ways of doing things. That's why this video isn't about deep scrubbing or perfection. It's about 10 real, gentle cleaning hacks you can do while sitting down. No ladders, no bending, no pressure, just progress you can actually feel good about. And that final tip, it's something I've used every Sunday night, and it makes my living room smell like I've been busy all day, even if I haven't stood up once. Before we begin, I'd love to know, where are you watching from, and how has your energy level been lately? We read every single comment, and your story might be just what someone else needs today. Let's begin with one thing you can do in under 5 minutes, with a cup of tea by your side. 1. Sock dusting bookshelves from the couch. When was the last time you looked at your bookshelf and saw more dust than stories? It happens quietly. A film of soft gray settles over the shelves, and we say, I'll get to it next week. But next week turns into next season. And the truth is, we're not lazy. We're just tired of climbing, reaching, balancing on tiptoes like we did in our 40s. That's why I love this little trick. Take an old, clean sock, slip it over your hand like a glove. Lightly spritz it with a bit of vinegar and water, or just a drop of lemon oil if you prefer something softer. Then sit on the couch, lean over, and dust just the shelves within reach. You don't even have to get up. You'd be surprised how far your arms can go when you're comfortable. My friend Doris, 74, does this every Monday morning. She calls it her quiet shelf stroll. She pours a cup of tea, puts on some old jazz, and gently wipes the shelves from her recliner. I dust like I'm brushing off old memories, she told me once, not rushing them, just making space for new ones. I think a lot of us carry this silent worry that if we're not moving fast, if we're not doing everything, we're falling behind, that a dusty house means we've stopped caring. But sometimes care looks like this: sitting down, moving slowly, doing just what you can, and letting that be enough. I used to let my books gather dust for months, not because I didn't see it, but because the idea of standing, reaching, and stretching made me tired before I began. Then one afternoon I wiped just one shelf with a sock while sipping coffee, and it felt satisfying. Not like a chore, like a quiet conversation between me and my space. There's even a study from the Journal of Aging and Environment that found older adults who engage in low-effort, high-satisfaction tasks report higher feelings of agency and calm, and I believe it. Because when you can see a shelf shine again, even just one, it reminds you that you still shine too. You can do this too. Just one sock, one shelf, one soft afternoon. That's more than enough. Is there a shelf in your home that's been waiting for your hand? Let me know below. You might inspire someone else to rediscover the quiet joy of doing what's within reach. And speaking of within reach, there's a little tray you can build beside your chair, one that might just change how you feel about everyday cleaning. Let's look at that next. 2. Tray cleaning station. Do you ever sit down to rest and notice 5 things that need cleaning, just out of reach? The dust on the lamp base, the smudge on your remote, the coffee ring on the side table, and you think, if I had the energy, I'd get up. But the truth is, getting up isn't always the problem. It's getting started. That's why I keep a little tray next to my chair. Nothing fancy, just a shallow basket with a soft cloth, a small spray bottle with diluted vinegar and lemon oil, a pair of gloves, and a few cotton swabs. I call it my station of gentle progress. And when I'm sitting, I reach for it. Not because I have to, but because I can. My sister-in-law Jean, 76, started hers last year. She used to feel overwhelmed by how much cleaning she wasn't doing. Then she made her tray. If it's beside me, she said, I do a little, And that little adds up. Every night she wipes the side table and TV remote before bed. Nothing more, but it's something. It's movement. It's care. There's something we don't talk about enough as we get older, the invisible guilt, that quiet fear that we're falling behind in our own homes, that things are slowly slipping through our fingers, not because we don't see them, but because the energy to act feels so far away. But what if the energy didn't have to be far? What if it was already sitting beside you? I used to wait for motivation, for a better day, a clearer mind, a rested body. Until I realized my best chance was right here, while I was already sitting. I built my tray, and I started to reclaim those little tasks that once made me feel competent and calm. A study from the Center for Aging Well found that micro-actions, small, repeatable tasks within arm's reach, can dramatically increase feelings of capability in women over 65. And from what I've seen, it's not just research, it's real, it's emotional, it works. You can do this too. Find a basket, a tray, or even a repurposed box. Fill it with tools that feel gentle, not demanding. This isn't a cleaning kit, it's a confidence kit. What would your tray hold? What's one little task you could make easier, just by bringing it closer? Share your tray idea in the comments. It might be exactly what someone else needs to begin again. And while we're sitting, let's turn our attention lower, to the edges of the room, to something we usually avoid, not because it's hard, but because it asks us to kneel. But today, we won't have to. Let's talk baseboards. 3. Baseboard swipe with a broom sock. Have you noticed how dusty your baseboards get, but avoid them because you can't get down there anymore? I used to pretend I didn't see mine. I'd walk by, catch the dust in the corner of my eye, and quickly look away. Because bending, kneeling, crawling, my knees gave their notice years ago. Then one day, I had an idea. I took a clean sock, wrapped it around the bottom of my broom, secured it with a rubber band, and gave the baseboard a swipe from where I was sitting. And just like that, I reclaimed the edge of the room. My neighbor Louisa, 77, does it during TV commercials. She sits near the wall, broom in hand, and gently glides it along. I call it wall dancing, she laughed one day. It makes me feel like I'm still moving, even if my hips disagree. There's a quiet fear we carry as we get older, that our homes will slowly slip into neglect, not because we've stopped caring, but because we physically can't reach. And that fear brings something heavier than dust. It brings shame. The kind we don't talk about. The kind that whispers, "You used to do better." But here's the truth. Better just looks different now. You don't need to kneel. You don't need to crawl. You just need a broom, a sock, and a little softness in your motion. It's not about scrubbing, it's about showing up. Personally, I now keep a socked broom by the door. Once a week, I take a lap around the living room, seated, and let those baseboards know I still see them. Research from the Journal of Home Adaptation shows that older adults who modify cleaning tools to match their mobility experience higher satisfaction and reduced anxiety around home care. And that makes sense, because dignity lives in adaptation. You can do this too. Just choose one wall, one corner. Give it a soft swipe. Let it be enough. What spot in your home has been waiting for this gentle return? Share it in the comments. You might give someone else the permission to try again, without hurting themselves. Now, let's peek inside the cabinets. You know the ones full of jars, old cans, and unreachable corners. But there's a small spinning trick that makes it all feel new again. 4. Lazy Susan. Miracle in cabinets. Do your lower cabinets feel like black holes where everything gets lost behind everything else? I used to dread opening mine. I'd reach in, bump my head, knock something over, and still not find the paprika, so I stopped trying. And the mess grew. Until one day, I found a Lazy Susan at a yard sale, a simple turntable tray. I placed it in my cabinet, sat on a low stool, spun it gently, and suddenly, my spices came to me. My cousin Millie, 79, swears by hers. I don't dig anymore, she told me. I spin and smile. She has 3, one for spices, one for baking items, and one under the sink. From her chair, she wipes each bottle, turns the tray, and keeps her kitchen feeling tended to. No bending, no back strain, just a quiet little miracle in circles. Many women our age don't talk about this, but there's a hidden grief in not being able to reach. We used to kneel, lean, organize. We knew where everything was. And now? Sometimes we pretend we don't need it, just to avoid asking for help. But adaptation isn't giving up. It's growing wiser. A lazy. Susan doesn't just organize space, it restores agency. I now have one in every cabinet that used to frustrate me, and every time I spin one, I feel like I've made peace with that younger version of me, the one who thought strength was the only way forward. According to AARP's Guide to Aging in Place, rotating tools like Lazy Susans are among the top 10 most effective kitchen modifications for reducing risk and increasing independence. And if you ask me, they also reduce resentment. You can do this too. You don't have to redo your whole kitchen. Just pick one cabinet, add one turntable. Let the shelves come to you. Which cabinet would feel more joyful if it could spin instead of strain? I'd love to know. Let's swap Lazy Susan ideas. Maybe yours will help someone else breathe easier in their kitchen. And speaking of little joys, what if decluttering didn't require standing, walking, or lifting? What if it could start right in your lap? Let's talk about the drawer. You know the one. 5. Drawer. Declutter. Lap edition. Do you have one drawer in your home that you avoid opening? You know the one. Full of old receipts, rubber bands, mysterious cords, expired coupons. The kind of drawer that sighs when you open it, and somehow always closes itself again. Here's a gentle way to begin. Choose just one drawer, maybe the one closest to your chair. Pull it out carefully. Set it in your lap on a towel or tray. Put on some soft music. And go through it slowly. No rushing. No pressure. Just hold each item. Ask yourself if it still serves you. My friend Bonnie, who's 80 now, calls this her Sunday ritual. I don't declutter rooms anymore, she told me, just drawers, one lap at a time, and it feels manageable, like I'm still in charge. There's a quiet heaviness that comes with clutter, not because we don't care, but because we feel behind. We think, I should have done this earlier, or worse, it's too late. But that drawer doesn't need punishment. It needs kindness. It needs your lap, your breath, and your presence. I remember the first time I did this. I found a birthday card from 1996, one I had forgotten I kept. It made me smile, then cry, then exhale. That one drawer reminded me I hadn't been neglecting my home. I'd just been waiting for the right moment to return to it. Research from the National Institute on Aging shows that breaking tasks into micro moments under 20 minutes helps reduce overwhelm in seniors and boosts a sense of completion. A drawer isn't a chore, it's a story. And when we clear it gently, we tell ourselves we're still in the middle of it. You can do this too. Start with one. The drawer doesn't even have to be messy. Just let it be yours again. What's one drawer in your home that holds more than just stuff? Share it in the comments. You might help someone else feel a little less alone in the untangling. And after we tend to what's tucked away, let's lift our eyes toward the glass that reflects us every day, sometimes clearly, sometimes not. Let's go there next. 6. Mirror and glass touch-ups from a chair. When's the last time you really looked at yourself in the mirror and felt okay with what you saw? Not just the face, but the dust on the edge, the fingerprint smudges, the streaks of time. Mirrors age quietly just like we do, and sometimes we avoid them for that very reason. But here's a beautiful truth. When your mirror is clean, your reflection feels kinder, lighter, like someone's still watching over you, and it might be you. All you need is a dry mop or long-handled duster wrapped with a microfiber cloth. Spray a little diluted vinegar and water. Sit on a chair or walker seat. Gently sweep the mirror, top to bottom. You don't have to strain, just breathe. Let the cloth do the remembering. I clean my hallway mirror every Thursday morning while sitting on my walker. It's not fancy, but when I finish, I always look at myself and say, out loud, there you are. My friend Edna, 75, once told me, when I see myself in a clean mirror, I look less tired, even if I am. It reminds me I'm still here, still looking, still worth looking at. Many older women don't say it out loud, but we carry the quiet ache of feeling invisible, not just to others, but to ourselves. And a dusty mirror doesn't help. I believe that every time we clear the glass, we clear the space between us and the version of us we still want to believe in. It's not vanity, it's visibility. And there's science to support that too. According to a study in Psychology and Aging, Visual clarity in personal spaces, especially mirrors and windows, can improve mood and memory recall in seniors by over 30%. You can do this too. One mirror, one cloth, one gentle wipe. You're not erasing age, you're honoring presence. Is there a mirror in your home that hasn't been touched in a while? Try it today. And tell me, what did you see after the smudges were gone? Now that we've reflected on ourselves, let's reach even lower, but without bending. There's a tool that might become your favorite cleaning companion. Let's talk about that grabber next. 7. Floor spot cleaning with a grabber tool. Have you ever spotted something on the floor and walked away because you just didn't want to bend? I've done that more times than I can count. A speck of something sticky, a crumb, a mark near the baseboard. I'd see it, sigh, and say, later. But later rarely comes when your knees don't cooperate. Then one day I saw a grabber tool on sale at the pharmacy. I bought it for reaching high shelves, but that night I wrapped a damp cloth around its claw and gave the floor a gentle swipe from my chair. Just like that, the spot was gone. So simple and oddly satisfying. My friend Gladys, who's 81, calls hers my long arm. She keeps it near the window with a little spray bottle. Now I never walk past a mess feeling helpless, she said. If I can see it, I can reach it. For so many of us, the fear isn't just about falling, it's about not being able to fix what we see. That small feeling of losing control, bit by bit. And that does something to the heart. But when you hold that grabber and clean something without strain, it reminds you you haven't disappeared. You're still capable, just with new tools now. Personally, mine stays beside the armchair. Every evening I take a slow look around the room. If something's on the floor, I get it, gently, with dignity. No rush, no bending, just presence. Occupational therapists often recommend grabber tools for independence, but what they don't always say is how empowering they feel. You can do this too. Wrap a cloth. Mist it. Use it like a soft extension of your care. What's one spot on the floor you've walked past too many times? You don't have to reach far, just enough to remind yourself that you still hold the power. And after the floor feels tended to, maybe it's time to look at what holds warmth in your home. The linens, the towels, the soft stacks we often forget to touch with care. Let's go there next. 8. Folding and freshening linens while watching TV. When was the last time you refolded your towels just to make them smell a little better? I'm not talking about washing a full load. I'm talking about gathering a few folded pieces, towels, pillowcases, a favorite throw, and gently refreshing them while watching your evening show. All you need is a spray bottle with water, a spoon of baking soda, and a few drops of essential oil, lavender, eucalyptus, vanille, or orange blossom if you like something soft and bright. Lightly mist the fabric. Fold slowly. Smooth each corner with your hands. My Aunt Jo, 78, does this every Friday night. It makes me feel like I'm wrapping up the week, she said. Like I'm folding peace back into the house. There's a kind of quiet therapy in touching soft things, in smoothing something with intention. Many older women feel disconnected from usefulness, not because they don't want to help, but because the big tasks feel too heavy now. But this isn't about heavy. It's about intimate. It's about the moment when you fold a towel and realize you're still the keeper of comfort in your space. I sometimes do just one blanket, refold it, mist it with rosemary and lemon, then lay it across the chair like I've just prepared it for someone I love. And maybe that someone is me. A study from the gerontologist found that sensory routines, like scenting and folding fabric, can ease anxiety and promote a sense of ritual in women over 65. But honestly, I didn't need the study. I felt it. You can do this too. You don't need a full laundry basket. Just one towel, one evening, one soft motion. Which linen would you bring back to life tonight? Let us know in the comments. You never know what memory a simple scent might unlock. And now, from softness to surface, from the fabrics we hold close to the fridge we see a dozen times a day, and yet rarely feel proud of. Let's change that next. 9. The seated fridge front reset. How often do you wipe the outside of your fridge, but wish it felt like more than just a task? The front of the fridge is where our eyes land, every morning, every evening. Yet we forget that even a small gesture here can shift the whole feel of the kitchen. Here's what I do. I sit on my walker or chair with a soft cloth and a bowl of warm water and vinegar. I gently wipe the handles, the edges, the top ridge, then I polish it dry. And finally, I place one magnet with a quote I love. Just one. Sometimes it's new, sometimes it's one I forgot. My friend Esther, 82, does the same thing. I clean what meets my hands, she told me. That's enough most days. Her fridge has a small calendar and a photo of her grandkids. That's it, and it always feels tended to. There's a strange kind of guilt we carry about our kitchens. That if they're not spotless, we're not doing enough, but sometimes enough is a single surface that says, I was here, I still care. For me, cleaning the fridge front isn't about impressing anyone. It's about giving shape to the day, a small act of completion in a world that often feels unfinished. According to a report from the Center for Design and Aging, visual anchors, like a clean fridge front, can provide emotional structure and reduce decision fatigue in older adults. That makes sense. When one thing feels done, we feel calmer about the rest. You can do this too. Sit, wipe, polish, and maybe even place one quote, one image, one smile. What's on your fridge today, and what's one message you'd like it to hold tomorrow? And as we close the day with that final surface, there's one last trick I want to share, one that brings scent, memory, and peace, all from a seat. A simmer pot of stillness. Let's breathe into that together. 10. Simmer pot without leaving the chair. Do you ever wish your home smelled warm and loved, even on the days you barely moved? Some days I don't sweep, I don't fold, I don't even clear the table, but I still want the air to feel alive, like something's been cared for, like someone still lives here. That's where the simmer pot comes in. And yes, you can do it sitting down. Place a small electric simmer pot, slow cooker, or warming base on a safe nearby surface. Fill it halfway with water. Add a few slices of lemon or orange, a cinnamon stick, a sprig of rosemary, maybe a drop or two of vanilla. Turn it on low and let it breathe for you. The scent rises slowly. Within minutes, the room begins to whisper, home, and you didn't even have to stand. My dear friend Ruth, who's 84 now, does this every Sunday afternoon. She sits by her window with a book and says, I may not scrub like I used to, but my house still smells like I did. That line stayed with me. Because so many of us carry a quiet sadness. We remember what our hands used to do. We miss the rhythm, the movement, the sense that we made things better just by doing. But now, we can still make things better. We just do it differently. We sit, we simmer, we choose gentle presence over performance. For me, the simmer pot has become more than scent. It's become a ritual, a permission slip, a way of saying, even today I showed up. There's even science to back this up. A study from the Journal of Environmental Psychology found that natural household aromas, especially citrus and spice, can lower cortisol and increase feelings of contentment in older adults. But beyond that, it simply feels like love. You can do this too, even if you do nothing else today. Fill a pot, add what you have, let the scent do the speaking. If you were to create your own simmer pot, what would it smell like? What memory would it hold? Leave your recipe in the comments. Someone out there might try it and feel just a little more at home because of you. And now, with that soft scent rising in the air, let's exhale together. Because this isn't just the end of a video. It's the beginning of something gentle. Let's bring it to a close, slowly, like a quiet breath before bedtime. We didn't just talk about cleaning. We talked about reclaiming, about finding motion, even when the body says rest. We talked about love, in action, in stillness, in socks and lemons and tiny trays of supplies. You don't need to clean everything today, just one drawer, one mirror, one scent that reminds you you're still here, still capable, still caring. You can do this too. Sitting down doesn't mean giving up. It means finding a new rhythm, one that fits this version of you, the wiser one, the softer one. I'd love to know, what's the one cleaning habit you've made easier with age? Share your gentle trick in the comments. It might help someone else feel proud of what they can still do. And if this video brought you peace, send it to a friend who's been feeling stuck. Let's remind each other, progress can happen from a chair. Beauty can begin with a breath. Until next time, take it slow. And remember, your home doesn't need perfect, it just needs you showing up softly.